Hello, cheapskaters. My name is Kath Armstrong. I apologise for the noise in the background. It'll stop in a moment. I'm the creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing. If this is your first time visiting our channel, welcome. And if it's not, welcome back. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of April, 2024. The year is flying by, folks. And April is our cash-only diet month. So, who's with me for a cash-only diet? Let me tell you, it is worth it, absolutely worth it. Now, I'm just going to flop over here, and while we wait for people to catch up, I'll just say hello. Hello, Jody and Joy and Yvonne and Maureen. Hello, Mary. Lots of cash-only peoples. Good, good, good. Evelyn. Joy went to the bank. They told me to come back later because they were busy at both tellers. Seriously. Oh, my giddy aunt. That's a really nice thing to see, though, isn't it? People actually in the bank doing business. Hi, Cheryl. And, yes, we had a nice Easter. Hello, Wild Woman. And Beverly, Mrs. Dillegaff, Catnaps. Hi, Leonie. Hello, Jane. Enjoy your dinner. We will be here probably. Hello, Kelly. Hi, Kylie. Hope your migraine gets better. I know what they're like. And hi, Sandra. Oh, and who just popped on? Okay. Cash only, folks. Now, today is National Withdraw Your Cash from the Bank Day, or the ATM Day, or the register as you go through the supermarket or Kmart or whatever. If you do the self-serve thing, get your cash out. Today was the day. It was a bit interesting because I've been working on this month for 4 months. Takes me a while to get stuff organized, guys. So I've had this planned for a long time. And I did this same challenge way back in, I think it was 2002 or 2003. It was a while ago anyway. I haven't done it since. So I decided, when I was plotting out the year for us, what we do and what we wouldn't do, I decided April has 30 days, so we'll do the 30-day cash-only diet in April. And then, of course, the posts started coming through for Withdraw Your Cash Day today, the 2nd of April. Now, what I found really interesting is there hasn't been a huge amount of media about this. I was listening to the radio last night, and you'll know I don't watch the news. So it may have been on the TV news and I just missed it, but I haven't picked it up anywhere else other than Facebook. It hasn't been on any of my news sites that have popped up in my feed. Listening to ABC radio last night, and the presenter had absolutely no idea what the caller was talking about when the caller was explaining today, the 2nd of April, is Withdraw Your Cash Day. It was like, is this even a thing? What is this? What are you talking about? Never heard of it. Can't say know anything about it. And I was really quite gobsmacked. And then I thought, you know what? Shouldn't be. Because if we all start using cash again and taking cash out of the bank and paying for our goods and services with cash, someone's going to lose money. Someone who is relying on us not using cash is going to be losing money. They're going to be losing the ability to track and trace what we do with our money. they won't like that. Then it had me thinking, I need my hat. Where is it? Okay. Then it had me thinking, well, maybe those same people control the media. Maybe, just maybe. I don't know. But there you go. That's my tinfoil hat thing. I've had a busy week and I'm a little bit tired. So maybe my mind is wandering off and going down rabbit holes it doesn't need to go down. But anyway, Maureen posted today that her son, I hope he doesn't, I won't name him Maureen, her son, who's just turned 21, he's just a young man, he's a really lovely young man, actually called a radio station and said, hey, look, I'm young and I use cash. And the presenter at the radio station was quite stunned that someone young would use cash, that he even knew what cash was. So I thought, well done, Maureen's son. I thought, it's a good, proud mummy moment for Maureen, wasn't it? That her example has rubbed off onto her children. All right. Joy, I don't know. I actually don't. Maybe they did think it was April Fool's. I don't know. I actually totally forgot yesterday was the 1st of April. I forgot it was Monday, so hello. Maybe they did think it was April Fool's. I don't know. I just think that our government's come out and announced by November next year, Australia will be a cashless society. For all intents and purposes, there will be no cash. We will be cashless. We will not use cash for transactions. And by 2030, which is, you know what, 6.5 years away, there will be no cash in circulation. Now, don't take my word for it, folks. I keep saying to you, do not take my word for it. Do your own research. You might have to dig in a few pages to find the details, but they are there if you want to find them. They don't want us to have cash. Well, you know what? I would rather deal with cash. When I have cash, I control my spending. I know exactly how much I'm spending, how much it's costing. And for everyone that says it's too hard to track your spending with cash, no, it's not. It's actually easier. You go to the bank, get your housekeeping or your weekly money out, whatever you want to call it, take out $200 for the week. Once that $200 is gone, you know you've spent your budget. You can't overspend. There is no more money left in your purse or your wallet or your pocket or under the couch cushions or whatever. It is gone. You cannot overspend when you use cash. You just can't. Now, the trick to getting cash, as Joy found, because the bank told her to go away and come back because the two tellers were too busy, that's hilarious, is finding a bank or a credit union or a building society, if they're even still around, I don't know. I've lost track because so many are closing, or an ATM because they are disappearing too, where you can withdraw your cash. And there's lots of bank branches now that simply don't deal in cash, which is pretty absurd, but you know, they don't accept cash and they don't have cash for you to withdraw, to take out of your account. It's crazy, folks. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, cash is really easy. Once it's gone, it's gone. Now, someone might say you can do that with a debit card once because that uses your own money. That's true, but it is much easier to go over budget when you just tap and go, or swipe and go, or even worse, grab your phone and use your phone. And then people wonder why they're hacked. They wonder why their details are stolen, why their information is stolen. It's far too easy. It is far too easy. Now, I have to say, I was dealing with a company this afternoon and screaming. So wonder you didn't hear me, because I was going mental, because all I wanted to do was update the email address. That's All I wanted to do was update the email address. It took I had to log in. To log in, I had to get a one-time verification code. Got that. Went to change the email address. Had to get a one-time verification code to go into that. To actually edit the email address, I had to get a one-time verification code. And then to save it, I had to get a one-time four codes. That's ridiculous. I would like to say to the company, I think I did on their feedback form, if their security is that bad, I don't want to deal with them. That was just ridiculous. That is just beyond ridiculous. In this day and age, it's also unnecessary. If their internet security, their web security is done properly, it is unnecessary. Off my high horse. Okay. Yes, Coralie, they do charge you for the privilege of using your own card. I queried it on some tickets I bought earlier this year because the price is whatever. The only option is to pay by card online. You can't send them the money. You can't do a bank transfer. You can't go in with cash and pay. The only option was to pay online. But on top of the price of the tickets, there was then a 1.5% processing fee. Hello? It's daylight robbery, blatant robbery, theft. I don't know. Doesn't make me happy. Okay, so Yvonne's going, I need to transfer money to my daughter this week when it's her payday, and she'll transfer back when it's her payday. That's fine. And that's hard to do in cash as she lives 100 kilometres away. That's slightly different. That is slightly different than just paying for your groceries or filling the car up with petrol or paying a doctor's bill or a chemist's bill or a pathology bill, or what else have we paid this week? Lots and lots of bills like that. It's different. That's a slightly different thing. But you can do a bank transfer. You can do a bank transfer. You'll probably be able to do it online. I don't know. If you're set up to do them, do it online. You'll probably still have a fee for it anyway. I don't know about school for canteens, Fiona. Been a long time since I had anyone in school to worry about that. What, 11 years, 10, 11 years. So I don't know, but I would think that would be absolutely appalling if they don't take cash at a school canteen, and they wonder why they churn out children that don't know how to deal with money, can't add up, can't subtract, can't multiply, can't divide, can't count. Sorry, because the easiest way to teach a child math is with money. Trust me. Teach them with money. They pick it up really quickly. My kids only deal in cash, Mrs. Dillegaff, and I've got a 32-year-old, a 30-year-old, and a 28-year-old. I had to stop and think. They only deal in cash too for most of their stuff. There are things that they can't, like their pay goes into the bank, that sort of stuff. But for all intents and purposes, they're cash. Yeah, I don't watch the news. This is Dillegaff. You know what though? It's a bit annoying, isn't it? Because it's a bit late to talk about it today. They should have been talking about it yesterday and Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday of last week. and building the momentum and reminding people just how much cash is vital to a thriving economy, because it is. You take cash out of the economy and it will die, because it just won't work. It just won't work. For a start, you'll lose all your small businesses, like our bakery. They do take card, but they prefer cash. The fruit shop, the little fruit shop I goes to, prefers cash. All sorts of, lots of places prefer cash. Lots of bills can't be. We're all in the same boat when it comes to that. But when it comes to grocery shopping, putting fuel in the car, paying the chemist bill, buying shoes, getting your hair cut, buying craft supplies, whatever, it can all be done in cash. We've got out of the habit of using cash, and so we go, oh, it's too hard, we can't do it because I've got to do this by bank transfer, or this is direct debit, or BPay, or whatever. But there's more that's not. If you really stop and think about what you spend, what your outgoings are, and how you pay for them, there's a lot that can still be paid in cash. We just are lazy and choose not to do it. Anyway, okay, so let me find my notes and we'll get into it, because I think we've got most people here. Now, guys, I'm switching backwards and forwards. Delaney isn't able to be with us tonight, so I will be your host and your moderator. So, bear with me as I do this. And we'll see how we go. I chose 30 days. It's pretty easy, isn't it? It takes 21 repetitions of the same thing to form a habit. By the end of 30 days, we should be in the habit of spending cash. Now, I do use cash all the time, as much as I can. It suits me. Sometimes it doesn't. But it suits me. I prefer it. I like that cash is accountable. Someone else said that in the comments a while back. Cash makes them accountable. Cash does make you accountable, because you need to be careful. You can't overspend when you're spending with cash. You have to be careful. You have to make sure that you are paying the right price, that you're not wasting your money, you're not overspending. Cash makes you accountable. As you go through, if you take up this challenge, as you go through it, make a note. It's easy to track where you spend your cash. It's easier than it is on a card, because you'll collect your receipts, put them in your purse. When the cash is gone, the receipts are there. You should have a supermarket receipt, a fuel receipt, the post office receipt, the chemist receipt, the butcher's receipt, whatever will be there, and you can just add them into your tracking. If you're doing the saving revolution this year, you should be well in the habit of tracking your spending. So we're talking about debit cards, and I was saying, we're not going to use credit cards. Wayne and I don't even have credit cards. Not a one between us. Nada, zilch, nothing. We have debit cards. We don't have credit cards. But even a debit card can bring you undone, because the money's there, and you can only keep spending as long as the money is in the account to cover it. But that doesn't mean that you can't overspend on something, because the money's there. So you need to be really careful. Cash changes that, especially if you use envelopes or different purses like we do, to sort it out so that you've got X amount of grocery money, X amount of fuel money, X amount of whatever money. You're not getting sucked into that mind game of, and it happens to all of us. I see it, I want it, I'm going to have it, tap, and off we go. When you pay by cash, you don't do that. You're very conscious of taking that money from your purse or your wallet or your handbag, wherever you keep it, and handing it over. And you're more conscious of what you're buying in terms of, is it actually worth that much money? Am I getting value for my money when I pay in cash? Now I've got here another reason to switch to cash is to keep it. There you go. A cashless society has been talked about for years and years and years, at least 20 years, probably even longer. And it was always sort of one of those airy-fairy out there in the, someone's imagination. It won't ever happen. Well, it's happened. And if we don't use more cash, we're going to lose it. If we don't withdraw it from the bank and then spend it, it will disappear. Like I'm saying, we've got till November next year before we are effectively, Australia is effectively a cashless society. And we are on target to be the first country in the world to do that. I'm not sure that's, something we should be celebrating. I don't think that's a first that is particularly good. There are better things to come first in. Yeah, we'll be the first functionally, according to the RBA, the Reserve Bank, we will be the first functionally cashless society by the end of 2025. So we are beating out the USA, Canada, the UK, Europe, Japan, China. We're going to be number one. Are we going to be the test dummies? Are we the, are we the idiots that are, being used as the test for this to see how well it works or doesn't work, to see how well it's accepted by people? I wonder. Should have my hat on again, shouldn't I? Okay. So go cash only, guys. Even if it's just for 30 days, send a message. But do it for yourself too. Challenge yourself to go cash only and see how that changes your spending and your attitude to spending. Because if it's easy to spend, we just do it and the money gets frittered away. And even if it's not there, it gets frittered away. Even if we can't afford it, it can get frittered away. So do it for yourself. Do it for your budget. Do it for your learning. Use it as an experience to see how you would cope with a cash forever budget. If we went back, we'd have to go back 50 years. 50 years. We'd have to go back 50 years. I was doing the sums in my head. I have to go back 50 years to have cash. If you wanted, and that's when you could withdraw it from your bank account. If you wanted cash in the hand, you'd go back another 10 years, about 60 years. And people were still getting a pay packet with their money in it, and they have their name on the front and their gross and the tax and then the net. And that would be their pay for the week. So it's not that long ago. It's within my lifetime, within all of, most of us have been there, within our lifetime. We've seen these changes happen. They happen really fast. If we don't question them, if we don't say, no, I don't like this idea, we don't query them, we don't stand our ground and say, no, thank you, I'd rather not do this, then we get trampled. We need to find our voice, and we need to use our voice. And our voice for this little exercise is our ATM card or our, I don't know if anyone, do they still have, I know banks still have withdrawal slips, but they don't have bank books, do they? So you can go in, you can take your money out, take your cash out, use cash as your voice. Use cash as your voice of protest. It's a non-violent protest, but it can be really, really effective. Now, there's a bit of hoo-ha and kerfuffle last week when Coles started putting out that they might not be accepting cash over the Easter weekend, and in fact up until about Friday of this week. Now, that wasn't a particularly Coles idea. It was from a long-running issue that they've had with Armaguard and getting cash deliveries and yada yada. So it wasn't particularly a Coles idea, but it did also occur to me that it could be a really good test to see how well people responded to actually just being able to buy your groceries using your card or your phone or your watch or whatever digital source you have. Okay. All right. Let me go. Hello, Tegan. Good point, Cheryl. She had a little girl selling raffle tickets for netball, and Cheryl paid with cash. Well, you know what? You can tap and go for a sausage at Bunnings. Seriously. A $2.50 sausage and bread at Bunnings, and you can go tap. That's just beyond ridiculous. Absolutely beyond ridiculous. Now, Wayne loves to go, if we're at Bunnings on a Sunday and there's a sausage sizzle there, that's his favourite thing. And I'm sure he times it for lunchtime so he can get a sausage. Anyway, we were there a few weeks ago now. We were there and he was getting his sausage, and there was a youngish fellow, he's probably in his 20s, and he didn't have cash. So he had to pay his $2.50 on his card, and I must have been looking at him like he was complete and utter fool. And because he just looked at me, he said, "I don't carry cash. I never have cash." And I went, "So you shouldn't get a sausage. How much is it going to cost you on top of your $2.50? Oh my goodness, it's shameful. It is shameful that it's not that he didn't have the money, he didn't have the cash. It is shameful that people, and there's young people, middle-aged people, old people, who simply believe it is perfectly okay to put $2.50 on their card because they don't carry cash. Shameful. Ooh, $5 off for cash. That'd be handy. Yeah, well, Coles and Woolworths, as I understand it, Mrs. Dilligaff saying media barely spoke about the Armaguard kerfuffle because they're in financial. This makes me laugh. I did have a giggle about this. Armaguard, who does the money pickups and drop-offs and whatever, is in financial difficulties, and I did have a giggle about that. But apparently Coles and Woolworths together were prepared to step in and bail them out, and their offer was rejected. So what does that tell you? It tells you that They don't want us to have access to cash in the supermarkets or the department stores, the discount department stores, or the wherever, what other stores those two companies own. Because they offered to step in and bail them out, and it was rejected. Yeah, that's really sad. Coralie went to a shop and they would only take card, no cash. Now, it's really interesting that so often they say it's security. We don't want cash on the premises. It's not safe. What? Baloney. Baloney, guys. Absolutely baloney. Didn't one of an African country go cashless first? May have tried, but none has succeeded yet. If by November, the plan is for by November next year, we will be effectively cashless. That doesn't mean there won't be cash still floating around. It means that 95 or 97% of all transactions will be digital. So that's a lot. That's a lot. But the rate Australians are choosing to do that is, yeah, really, really, the speed is just picking up all the time. And I didn't write the notes down. I should have put them down for you. They're out there if you go looking for them. And you were encouraged to leave your money in the bank to earn interest. Banks were happy to take your money and pay you for the use of it. Now they're happy to take your money and you have to pay them. So, yeah, all right. You need to read your fine print, Mary. No. The responsibility. No. Read the fine print. Yeah, Patricia tried to withdraw cash and the ATM was down. There was someone posted over on Cheapskates Chatter that they went to the ATM and there were no cash withdrawals available. What's the point of having an ATM? Because you can't deposit it. Most of them, I don't think there's one around me that will take a cash deposit anymore. You used to be able to deposit into them as well as withdraw from them. Not anymore. A lot of that is coins that people are hanging on to, as I understand it, Carol. $3.50 for a sausage at Bunnings. Oops. Like we were saying, Joy, you want to pay your electricity bill, you have to do it by card, but there is a fee. I wanted to buy tickets to this event. The price was there, but there was a 1.5% processing fee for using card. There was no other option. I had no choice but to use my card. It is ludicrous and it should not be allowed. If that's the only option available to you, there should not be a fee attached to it. If a business chooses to not accept cash, there's no checks anymore, so no point trying to send a check, or, you know, they should not be allowed to charge you on top of the fee you are already paying for the service or the items. It is wrong. It is ludicrous. It is highway, daylight, blatant robbery. Yeah, I was, Patricia says the rejection of a bailout sounds like a big brother interference type thing. It was just, as soon as I read that, it was like, well, you know what? That's because we're supposed to be cashless. Because if they had been bailed out, there would be no reason for them to not deliver the cash, pick up the cash, drop cash off, do the transfers. They'd be able to keep the trucks running, keep the guards going, whatever. And cash would still be in circulation. People would still be able to use it. So by saying, you know, we don't want you to go away, we're not interested, they're shutting down an avenue to get cash or make cash available. Hello, Vicky. Well done, Maureen. Paid a water bill and the RACV at the post office in cash. Yes. My mother paid all her bills at the post office in cash. She would go to the ATM once a month. She knew exactly what bills were coming in, how much they were going to be. She would get the money out. She would go to the post office and pay them. Wayne's mum always paid the bills at the post office too. So Hoyt's the cinema, I'm assuming, wanted to charge an online booking fee but no booking fee at the counter. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And it's actually should cost less if you book online because there's no human intervention. It's all done electronically. Nobody has to stand there and type it in or whatever. You do that at home on your own. Oh my goodness. I'm on a roll tonight, aren't I, guys? So okay, Jody. So that's where the effectively cashless comes in by the end of next year. And I'm assuming that then by 2030, when cash will just disappear, there will be no cash in circulation. Nobody will be able to withdraw it from anywhere. You won't be able to, you just won't be able, nobody will take it because it just won't be there. You might have your 50 cents stashed in your wardrobe or whatever, but cash will have gone. That they are hoping that those elderly people have either died or have become so I can't think of the word I want. They've either died, that sounds a bit crass, doesn't it? Or those older people will have passed on the responsibility of their finances to someone else, be that a family member or a state appointed guardian or whatever. So yeah. Computer literate. No, that's not what I was thinking of. I was trying to think of, I can't think of the term. It's when, it's not giving someone your financial power of attorney, but it's giving permission for someone to act on your behalf with your finances, and it's different to a power of attorney. Anyway, it'll come to me sometime. But I'm pretty sure that, in 6.5 years, that's pretty much what they'll be hoping happens. It will be to the point where, and bear in mind, guys, we're an aging population. We're getting older. There's not a lot of young'uns coming up. We are getting older. So you're going to get someone like me I don't like technology. I'm going to fight it all the way. And you've got older people. My father-in-law, for instance, he doesn't mind technology. He's happy to do it, but he still prefers to deal with cash. He still prefers to go to the bank, or he actually goes to the post office, gets his money out, does his shopping, pays his bills, whatever. He's happy to do that. But he's much more technology savvy than I ever am. Do you ever feel like just writing to them, Yvonne, and saying you should be jolly lucky I'm paying this bill at all? Sometimes you pay for the service, you pay for the bill, you pay to pay the bill. Just feel like going, what do I get out of it? What do I get out of it? It makes me rather cross. So, all right. Okay, I've had a really hectic week. You may have seen, I did forget it was Monday. I forgot it was Tuesday. I got all muddled with my days. Had a lot of downtime, not downtime, but waiting time last week. So you may have seen that I played around with some crocheting and worked on some patterns for some different types of scrubbies to see how they'll work. But I am tired. Jane says, Bluey's no idea how to turn on a computer, let alone how to pay a bill online. Yep. That's exactly right. Jane says, what if she drops off the perch before him? Well, we hope you don't. We sincerely hope that you live a long, long time, please. But we don't. It's difficult, but there's that age group that they're really hoping will just go so that, a lot can happen in 6.5 years. A lot can happen. Oh, Yvonne, really? Oh, that's creepy. Yvonne got her account by email, and then Google sent a message, don't forget you need to pay this account by this date. That is spooky and creepy and a gross invasion of privacy. I would not be happy at all if I got something like that. I would be screaming. You can tell I'm in one of those screaming moods. All right. Where's my notes? Lost my notes, guys. The other thing, okay, that's it. The other thing that using cash will do, withdrawing cash and using cash, will keep bank branches open. It will keep them open. Initially, they might continue with their plan of closing branches, but it will get to a point where they will have to reopen them or make the existing branches bigger, extend their hours or something, simply because, and it makes sense, as the use of cash dwindles, the need of banking dwindles. So if the use of cash expands, the need for banking will expand. So particularly I think we're fairly lucky in the big cities. We're fairly lucky. It's a bit of a pain to have to go to the next suburb or something for a bank. Well, mine's in the city, but for country towns, a bank's essential. A bank, a post office, a pub, they're essentials for a country town. They keep it alive. So you close the bank, you close the post office, a country town will die. We need to keep those things open. So keep using your cash. Keep withdrawing it and using it. Be like the lady who was the last remaining person in a little town up in the Victorian High Country. She and her mother had the post office in this little town. And when her mother passed away, she kept the post office going, and eventually she was the only person in the town. Everyone else had gone. So she used to post herself. She had to have a minimum number of letters a week to be able to keep the post office open. So she used to go down the mountain to Dargo and post herself letters to be delivered to her post office up at Grant, and that kept the post office open until she died. So she was able to, she was in her 90s, bless her little cotton socks. We need to be like that, even if it means we withdraw our money and then go back in and put it back into the bank. Keep those transactions happening. That's what we need to do. So I've always remembered that, because I always thought it must have been a really lonely existence for her up there, up on the top of the mountain on her own. And it would have been, well, for her to get down the mountain, she was still doing it. She didn't drive, so she was still horsebacking down and then back up again until she got too old to do that. And then someone would come pick up her mail, take it down, post it, and she'd get it delivered back up to her to keep the post office open. Bankwest ATMs are being switched over to CommBank, but CommBank's taking out theirs too. So because CommBank owns Bankwest now, has done for quite a while. So they've closed all the Bankwest branches, and they're just switching them over to Commonwealth. Going cashless will be devastating for regional areas. Now, we are travelling May, June, July. We will be in outback Australia. We will literally be in the middle of absolutely nowhere. We have, I'm sure I've told you this before, but we've got a sort of a thing where when we come to a little town, wherever it is, we try to spend some money in that town, whether we go to the pie shop and buy a pie or a vanilla slice or coffee, or we get fuel, or we try to do something to keep those little towns going. Because for travellers like us that travel in really remote areas, they are our lifeline. We need them. Not so much the locals around the area need them, but us as travellers, we need them, because all we have is what we're travelling with. So we need to be able to get fuel. We need to be able to get groceries. We need to be able to, get medicine or whatever. So those little towns are vital to us. And they take cash and they take card. Except that what we've found is the more remote we are, chances of actually being able to use your card about 50%, because 5 times out of 10 the internet's down. That satellite's in the wrong place. I thought I heard someone at the door. Satellite's in the wrong place, or some floods wiped out something or whatever. And so if you don't have cash, you can't buy fuel, or you can't buy your pie or your vanilla slice. So we carry cash too, but we also need to be able to replenish that cash, which means that we do need, the bigger towns that we get to, we need a bank so that we can get some money. So not having cash would mean that for Birdsville, for instance, internet goes down in Birdsville, that if people don't have cash, or there's no cash, they can't get fuel, they can't pay the caravan park, they can't go to the bakery and get their camel pie, they can't go to the pub and get their chicken schnitty, they can't put a gold coin, they can't pay for anything if there's no cash and they're relying on card. Our internet, what do they call it, NBN, would need to be a darn sight better than it is at the moment for those country towns to be able to say we don't need cash anymore. Because even last year when we were traveling, quite a few people got caught out because no internet and they didn't have cash. It's really interesting. It's very important. Cashless would be devastating for regional areas. Sorry, I'm just reading. Now, I will post a link. I watched a really interesting doco last week on 15-minute cities and why they don't work and why it's known. This is what got me. Town planners, politicians, governments know that these cities don't work. Pretty much building a 15-minute slum. So you'll have just a big slum, and then another big slum, and then another big slum. And the idea was sort of like they will implode because they will just eat themselves, suck themselves dry and implode. It was really interesting. Thanks, Kylie. That's pretty funny. Limit a cash withdrawal, an over-the-counter at the bank cash withdrawal, or just a I know supermarkets, most supermarkets have a $200 limit on their FPOS withdrawals. $500 in today's day and age isn't going to get anyone very far, is it? When it costs, I don't know, $160, $170 to fill my car up with diesel, $500 isn't going to go far. So we use cash. I have to change banks. I have to change banks. I don't know what that means. So, all right, 8:25. I'm all out of puff, guys. Got 70 people watching. Thumbs up would be really good. Thumbs up, help our channel. Make me happy. Help our channel. Ha! Ha! Isn't that what the oh gosh, I'm tired. Isn't that what our quarterly BAS is supposed to do? And the GST was supposed to do? Stop the not reported economy, stop the cash economy. It sort of backfired a bit, really, didn't it? But, you know, that's what it was supposed to do. It obviously failed. So $500 at a time, you just go to another ATM and get another 500. Is there going to be a daily limit? I know some bank accounts already on an ATM withdrawal will have $1,000 limit for the day. But see, all these silly people with all these plans and they don't work. Okay, I have to go. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Keep using your cash. Don't just withdraw it, but use it. Even if it's just to put it back into the bank, but use it. Keep that cash in circulation. Keep it going through the stores. If you buy a coffee, pay for it in cash. If you do groceries, pay for them in cash. Put petrol in your car, pay for it in cash. Buy a stamp, pay for it in cash. Use your cash. Keep the cash in circulation. Keep it going. Don't let them win. Just don't let them win. I really feel like saying, do these people not know who they're employed by? Because they're employed by you and me. They make these decisions on our behalf without consultation. So we need to Bank West have said that you have to change banks or go to online banking. Okay. Because they're closing all their branches. Well, we've had internet-only banks for a while. ING is one that comes to mind. It wasn't, you know, it doesn't have physical branches. It doesn't even have ATMs. You know, it's strictly online. It's been around for 20, 25 years, probably. Anyway, so it's not new that online banking is not new, but removing cash is going to be a disaster. And I don't know that I want to be their test dummy. In fact, I know I don't want to be their test dummy. But anyway, I will go. I will see you all next Tuesday, same time, 7:30. Don't forget, it will be for Queensland. Daylight savings finishes on Sunday morning, so we'll be back same time zone, guys. Yeah, we'll be in the same. I have to stop and think. We'll be in the same time zone. Okay, have a great week, everyone. Don't forget, thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to try and answer them tomorrow for you. Have a great week, and remember, happy cheapskating. I'll see you next week. Bye.